last video, we just looked at how the random networks fail to capture the properties of the real world networks in terms of this parameter called transitivity or clustering, which means that in random networks, every two persons are equally likely to be friends, while it is not so in a real world network. Real world network follow the property that a friend of a friend is more likely to be my friend. Okay, so it means that we now need a different model to capture this property. Really, this property of friend of a friend is a friend. In that context, there were two scientists, Watts and Strogatz, which thought to model a network something like this. So this is quite an organized form of a model in which all the nodes they are placed on a ring. So assume that every person which is there on in a social network, you make them arrange in a circular way, or let's say you make them sit on a round table, and every person is connected to few neighbors on the left and few neighbors on the right. So maybe to two people on the left or two on the right, so on and so forth. So this helps us increase this clustering or transitivity in a network, because now it is more likely that friend of a friend is a friend of mine. So this is not exactly the Watts-Strogatz model. It's a small tuning to this model. But currently, let's talk about this particular ring only. Let's not. So this is not a Watts-Strogatz model. Let's just call it a ring model. So a ring model in which people are sitting on a circular table, and everybody is connected to two or three people towards their left and right. Let's try to code such a network and look at what is the transitivity for such a network. Okay. So in order to do this, you can build this network from a scratch, or what I am going to do here, I am going to use a function. You need not worry about it what this function is. So as of now, you just keep this thing in mind, that I'm just going to use a function in some way which is going to give me this ring network. What this function is, I'll explain to you later. So I'm using this function here. Let's say, since I'm saying that it's a ring model, let me name it as something else. So GR was my random network. It's a ring model, so let me take the last G for G of ring, and I'm taking a model here. Again, I need a network which has somewhere near 34 nodes and 78 edges. Now maintaining that property will be difficult for me, because in this ring I cannot really define what should be the number of edges. It will be determined by how many people are there on my left and how many people are there on my right. Still, since transitivity is a fraction, it need not be completely dependent on the size of a graph. So we need not worry about that. So let's say I'm taking a node on a graph on 34 nodes, where every person is connected to four people on the left and on the right. I'll show you how this graph looks like. So this particular graph, let's visualize this graph. So what it creates. So this is for my ring graph, and I'm writing a 0 here. You need not worry about what this 0 is. I'll soon tell it to you. So you should focus on, I'm going to create a ring graph where everyone is connected to four people. Let me just see what it is doing. Okay, I did execute a wrong file. Okay, I have meanwhile changed the name of this file, so please be careful while I am recording these videos. The name of my files is changing. Yeah. Okay, probably used the wrong function name. I'll just correct it and run it again here. So to see a graph here, it looks quite a beautiful graph. And let's look at it here. Let's take these few nodes and see what's happening here. So we are trying to see to how many nodes are we connected towards the left and towards the right. Uh, okay, so let's look at this node 11. There are, if you see, 4 connections going out from 11. So 11 is connected to your 12, 13, 10 and 9. So every node is connected to 4 nodes, 2 towards its left and 2 towards its right. Okay. That's a perfect graph for me. So that's a ring graph, completely organized, and we are interested to know the transitivity of this graph. So for now I'll just print the transitivity of this particular ring graph. We have already seen the transitivity for the previous 3 graphs. So I'm concerned with this ring graph over here, and the size for me doesn't matter. The number of edges doesn't matter because the size, it's a fraction. Okay, so here you keep in mind for random graph it was around 0.1, 0.25 for your karate graph, 0.51 for the Facebook graph. And now see, when you look at it for this Schwarz-Roget's model, it turns out to 2.5, which is close to the Facebook graph. So very nice. The transitivity for such a graph is very high. So more than a random network, it now seems likely that this kind of a ring structure. So please note that what I have made as of now is not a Schwarz-Roget's graph. I'm yet to tell you what is a Schwarz-Roget's graph. I was currently talking about a ring graph. So ring graph comes quite close to the real world networks when you talk about it in terms of the transitivity or clustering. Okay. So now scientists, they started thinking that let's use this ring network, but definitely real world networks doesn't have just one property. They have a number of properties which we are slowly exploring. So I'm going to talk about one more property here, which is again very interesting, and it is called 6 degrees of separation. If you have heard about it, if not, you should really go and look up what is the Milgram small world experiment. So the scientist Milgram conducted an experiment. I'm not going to tell you the experiment here in detail because that's not our objective. So what 6 degrees of separation says is, if you take any two random individuals on this earth which have nothing in common, no connection in common, they look at entirely different places in different continents, still you can reach from one person to another in a maximum of 6 hops. That is, if you pick me and let's say somebody in California whom you think I might not be connected with, there is a good chance that I'll have a friend of friend of friend of friend who is a friend with that particular person sitting in California. So this is called 6 degrees of separation. And why does it happen? Which property of the network it tells us is about the path length, right? Definitely it's about the path length, because if you take a graph and you take any two nodes and you try to look at the distance between two nodes, so what this 6 degrees of separation is saying to you, that in the real world this distance between two nodes is almost 6 on an average. So it might be a bit low, bit less, or bit more in some cases, but on an average this distance is 6. So which means that if you talk about a real world network, then this average path length of this graph is about 6 in our real world network if we talk about the offline network. Okay, let's now look at what happens to this average path length when we are talking about this karate club network, our Facebook network, and what happens to it when we are talking about this random network and when we are talking about our ring network. So definitely we have seen that a ring network is performing very well in terms of transitivity. Now we are going to take this one more thing into account, which is average path length, and let's now look at all these values. I'm going to uncomment all of this. I have 4 kinds of networks. Mm, okay, so now I want to keep this Watt-Strogatz model, which we have created quite close to the real world networks. So what's going to be the number of edges in this Watt-Strogatz model here, in case I have 34 nodes and 4 connections per node? Let's quickly look at it based on that. So I'm just trying to keep these parameters similar. Let me just look at number of edges, and if I can play a little bit with it to make it similar to my real world networks. Okay, so this network is having around 68 edges. This one was having 78. So I'll say it's sort of equal, means almost similar. So I can compare my Watt-Strogatz model with this random network, which is having 78 edges here, and this Karate Club network, which is again having 78 edges. This one over here is having 68 edges, which is quite similar. So I'm now going to compare these three networks. One is random, one is ring network, and other is the Karate Club network. I know that in terms of transitivity, this one is the best, but now I want to look at it in terms of this average path length. So I'm going to print this average path length for all of these networks. So for everything, we have a function available in network X, and in this case, it is the average. And since when I talk about path, we are talking about shortest path here, shortest path length, and I want to see it what it is for a random graph and what it is for a Jikari Karate Club network, what it is for a ring network. It's not really what Strogatz here, it's a ring network. Okay. Just execute it, and you have some values here. So these are my average path length, which is 2.42, quite less for my random graph. Then for Karate Club also it is less, which is 2.4, but it goes high for your ring network, and definitely it will be high for your ring network, because if you look at your ring network over here, you see what's going to be its diameter in general, which is your largest shortest path length. It's going to be very high. The diameter of a graph is around 9 by 4, so every nodes are actually quite distant from each other, which increases our average shortest path length. Let's also try to do it in terms of our Facebook combined graph. So for this, let me look at the number of nodes and edges for our Facebook network. Mm. Okay, so I am just trying to get it from the internet. I can write a function and calculate it. This is my graph which I had used previously. Okay, it has 4039 nodes and 88234 edges. So I'll try to keep a similar number of nodes and edges for my random graph and for the Watt-Strogatz model. So for random graphs, it's pretty easy. For Watt-Strogatz, I need to think about it. So when I had 34 nodes, we had double the count. So the number of edges were double. If you look at here, number of edges, they are much more than double. So we'll have to see what should be its value. Mm. So we need this many edges. Number of nodes is 4039. Let me keep it 6 for now. And let me just print its number of edges. I'm just commenting everything else, and also I've already visualized this graph. I don't want to visualize it. You'll have to keep patience, it might take some time. Okay, was pretty quick. It is around 12,000 as of now. Okay, and when I make it 8, you can actually think about it mathematically and get a decent count. So it's increasing slowly. Let me just make it 20 directly because I need a large number, which is like 88,000. So still I have reached only a count of 40. Let me make this 40. Okay, so I have reached something like 80,780. If I make it 41, really doesn't lead to any difference, which is very high. So I think that for now we can work with 40. It's a pretty decent number, which comes quite close. So it comes close to around 80,000 edges. Okay. Now we are comparing these graphs. So I have a random graph of this 4,039 nodes and 88,234 edges. Then we have definitely our Facebook network sitting here, and we have this ring network on having similar number of edges. And again, we want to look at the shortest path length, average shortest path length in every case. Um, I'll just execute it. So this one might take quite a lot of time because it has to load the Facebook network, compute the average shortest path length, which may take a lot of time. So let's just wait here. So this one is really taking a lot of time. Okay, it just executed. So it has shown me that in the case of a random graph, this average path length was quite less. It is just around 2.6. Then it has shown me an error saying that g underscore j doesn't exist. So it's my mistake. I had actually to pass here g underscore f. I just comment this because we have already seen that for random network this path length is very low, just 2. For these two, I'll just again execute this code and we'll wait for the results. So I've got the values here. You can just take a look at them. So for random networks, this average shortest path length was 2.6, while for Facebook it is 3.7. And if you look at it for the ring network, it goes all the way to 50.9, which is almost 51. So although our ring networks are doing well in terms of transitivity, they fail miserably when we talk about the average shortest path length. What can we do for this? Was a solution which was given by Watts and Strogat. Since we now know that this ring, it is good at increasing the transitivity of our model, but the average path length becomes very high. So this is a random network here. This shown to you is a random network which has a very low value of clustering, but it's also having a very low path length. On the other hand, this ring network here, it's very good in clustering, very high clustering, but path length also increases. But for an actual real world network, what we want is a high value of clustering and low value of path length. So what we can do is, for reducing the path length in this particular ring, we can randomly rewire some of the edges here and there. And when you rewire some of the edges, what happens is the overall diameter or the path length of this network reduces, because now these nodes which are too distant from each other, they can use these rewired edges to quickly go to this other end. For example, if you look at this node here, it's very difficult for this node to go to this node. The path length is very high. On the other hand, now with the help of this node, I just need to traverse 2, 3 or 4 hops, and after that I can take a direct link to this node. Let us see, does it create an impact on our model. So the code which I have written here, was for a Watts-Roget's model, but with no rewiring at all. So when you do no rewiring in a Watts-Roget's model, it is equivalent to a ring model. So this was my ring model. Now in order to do some rewiring here, I need to have a probability value here, and that value tells me the probability with which you are rewiring every edge. So let me see what impact does it have on the network. I have made this probability value to be 0.01, which means that I'm going to rewire 1 out of the 100 edges. And let's now see what an impact will it have on the average path length. I'm again going to run this code, and then when the result come, I'll show you the result. Okay, I'm sorry. I just need to run this code over here. So the result is here now. When we do this, the average path length reduces all the way to 4.3, which is almost similar for that for a Facebook network. So now it appears that such a Watts-Rogat's model, where you first take this ring, this helps you increase the clustering coefficient, and then you randomly rewire few of the edges. I just rewired 1 out of 100 edges. It reduces the average path length drastically in this network, and hence both the properties of the real world networks are maintained. We have a high clustering coefficient and the low average path length. So this model is also known as the small world model for our real world social networks. In the next video, we'll look at one more very important property of the real world social networks, and then we'll try to look at whether these random networks or these small world networks, they are able to maintain that property or not, or do we even now need a new model.